Hello VC vinyl community. I'm just dropping another video and thought I share some records with you. But first, I thought I will make some shout outs, which I don't do enough, and that's probably because I'm an idiot. Certainly when it comes to social media and the mechanics of social media. However, I always watch at least 10 vinyl community channels, and yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think Google is like the biggest company in the world and they own YouTube, and it's always puzzling to me that they are not capable to create a better environment within the channel settings where you can organize your subscriptions better. So with all my other interests on YouTube, I'm subscribed to at least 600 accounts or channels, and so if I want to look something up, it is just this endless list of names, and that's usually a little bit overwhelming or confusing. So I would certainly prefer the ability to create a kind of a subdirectory that I can call VC, and then put all the vinyl community channels that I am subscribing in there, and this will certainly give me more freedom to, when I feel like I want to watch VC videos, I just go there and I'm gonna see all the relevant names together. This way it's always a bit confusing. So that's why I always try to kind of keep it limited through a period of time to like 10 or 12 people. Otherwise I feel like I drown in chaos. So that being said, for this video I thought I will pick 4 of my favorite VC channels that I can kind of shout out to. And if you don't know them, but probably you will, but if you don't know them, subscribe to them and watch them because they are all very interesting. Now the first one I want to mention is Big Star 1000. I had watched Fred's videos actually quite a while before I started making my own, which at this point is like 3 or almost 4 years ago. And I guess our musical tastes align a lot, I think, in certain areas. They kind of don't in other areas, but that's certainly part of the fun. We share a yen for Middle Eastern music, so that's kind of cool. He has this incredible, great knowledge of jazz music, and I think I took a lot of inspirations regarding the records I have bought in the last years. But on the other hand, there's a lot of bands that I've always dismissed my entire life that Big Star 1000 really likes. So this is kind of interesting because you get the chance to re-evaluate your own perception of certain music, of certain bands. So that's certainly one of the few channels where I am immediately online when a new video drops. So I'm usually one of the first 10 to 20 people watching it. Now the second shout out goes to a channel that is certainly as important to me. drrhythm, the channel by Mark Williams. Always loved the concept Mark and John are having here, this kind of a ping-pong presentation of records, and it's really great. This is a must-see channel for me. Again, they do like 1 video per month, and you can bet that I'm right there when this gets online. And they are both like encyclopedias. I mean, this is quite incredible and very inspiring, and you never run out of ideas once you watch their videos. And Mark and I usually cross path on Mixcloud, by the way, because he is doing a weekly radio show on a local radio station where he lives in England. And it's like a 2-hour show, and he immediately uploads the results on Mixcloud. So I will put the link to his show in the description, obviously. So it's pretty cool. You can hear there a lot of great soul music, jazz funk, dub, reggae, even interesting experimental albums. So certainly drrhythm is not the guy to limit himself stylistically. So this is a very big musical cake to check out. It's actually too bad that I don't make notes which albums I purchase through an advice or through a recommendation coming from a VC video. It's too bad, because it would be interesting to know, or I forget that immediately. Maybe I make a note in my mobile phone, and 2 weeks later I buy the record somewhere, and I forget that the hint was given to me by Big Star 1000 or drrhythm. And it's a shame that I can't remember this better, but I'm pretty sure a whole stack of albums in my possession kind of come through drrhythm's channel or Fred's channel. So my next shout out goes certainly to Rachel, TheMusicMAM. She's a great storyteller. I think she's reading a lot of books about the history of bands and the life of the musicians behind it. So this is always very, very entertaining and very informative channel with a lot of interesting videos. We share a passion for a slightly deranged band from London, Soho, called, what's their name? Oh, yes. Not to mention Hergé and Tintin. This is certainly a channel, while being relatively new at the scene, that is rising in popularity and certainly worth subscribing. And finally, the last one today is the VC channel from Steve Carlson. A lot of great music, but also what a presentation. I really try to take notes when I watch Steve's videos, because yeah, he is really a natural to create a interesting, informative, but at the same time very entertaining presentation, and he knows a lot about music. Again, a very, very eclectic collector with musical tastes going into every dimension. And yeah, I mean, I'm very inspired by him, but then again, I will never be that entertaining. It would be a folly even to try. Yeah, so all these channels, I will put them in the description, and if you don't know them, then check them out. Let's get to music. I thought it's time for another edition focused on slightly Middle Eastern music or North African music, and if you don't like that kind of sound, well, then you will probably be gone by now, switching over to another video somewhere in the vast ocean of YouTube garbage. And nah, I'm kidding. So first of all, I got this album today, and this is quite a joy. And you know what, let me take off first all these outer sleeves, so I'm not wasting that much time later when I'm showing the records, because this can always be a little bit annoying. I didn't want to show that one. Oh, great. Yeah, this one. Alright. Alright. Now I have to put them in certain order. Shouldn't I have prepared this in advance? So unprofessional. Awful. Really awful. Here we go. So today I received this album, which is Peyote by Oyukai Conjugate. Now this is probably the one record in my life that I've played the most in terms of quantity, but it is right now that this has been released on vinyl. Here is my original CD copy in my possession since 1990, I think, so I really played the hell out of that record. Now this is an English Fourth World / Ambient project. This was one of the rather early albums, or kind of a mid-term record, but certainly one that was slightly more conceptual than the previous one, employing all kind of guest musicians with a strong tendency to kind of Afrobeat, but very, very deeply in the vein of fourth world music, and very let's put it that way. If you make a lexicon, and in this lexicon there is an entry under P called pot music, then you can just put a photo of this cover next to the article as an example. This is this is wonderful music that never gets old. Very rhythmic, but also very playful, and in parts quite dark. Now, when I saw this cover only as a photograph somewhere online before it came out, I thought, yeah, this is aesthetic, but isn't it? It's a little bit boring. I wish they have done more. But then when I got it, I realized that this is a kind of a cutout cover. So it's basically the horse is like inside, you can pull it out. And so this is actually very beautifully done. This whole record, I'm really happy about that. And for the first time on vinyl, Peyote by Oyukai Conjugate. So, what else have I been listening to in the last days and weeks? I always like to spin this one. This is Al Harbavine by Khaled featuring Amar. This is a remix 12-inch with 4 versions, remixed by rather great specialists on the issue, like State of Bengal and Nitin Savni and Transglobal Underground. And yeah, this is quite a good track. I've been listening again to Noura Mint Seymali. This is her album Arbina, which came out on the German label Glitterbeat. Now, this is a pretty cool album. I've already shown this on VC probably a year ago, I guess. I vaguely remember. So she's from Mauritania, so Western Africa, sort of Sahel area, and I guess she's what you would call a griot singer. But I once read that the African musicians don't like to be called griot singers because it's such a French term, which feels slightly colonial to them. So they call themselves Jali, and she's playing an Ardin, which is a kind of a instrument similar to a kora, which you probably can hear a lot on recordings from, I don't know, Senegal or Mali. And but obviously this is kind of a Moorish music, but she has an incredible, quite edgy band. So she is playing with a 3-piece drummer, bass player, and guitarist, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's really a good beat and great drummer, and I always like this record. It's not meandering or something. It's really kind of like a kind of a Saharian punk rock music to some extent. This is very hyperbolic, of course, but it's great fun to listen to it. This one is truly wonderful. I've been listening to this the last 3 days, basically every day. This is an album by Hani Mehana called The Miracles of the Seven Dances. That's an album from the 70s. This was his solo album from around 74 or 75, I think. This is quite a wonderful reissue on the label Radio Martikov, which is in Belgium. And yeah, I mean, he's a quite in Egypt. He's quite an established artistic personality, and he wrote a lot of songs in the 60s and 70s for famous singers, and he produced a lot of records, but this is kind of his solo album. It's very keyboard oriented, but it's also a very beautiful sort of belly dance music. So if you kind of like Egyptian music and with a lot of sort of darbuka playing and great rhythms, then you really should check this one out. I was really happy with it, and at the same time it has this beautiful psychedelic edge coming from his keyboard playing. So it is certainly an album that has its own handwriting. So great one. Yeah, I think the backside of the cover is more than certainly worth showing as well. So this is a really good record. I really love that one, and I kind of like that they left the original centers in on the record. It's not so, you can't probably see it that well, but it certainly looks like an Egyptian record from the 70s. So it has a kind of nice with these. Well, this is even better with these 3 pyramids. So that's kind of cute, adding to the overall nostalgic atmosphere. So a wonderful record and a very welcome guest on my turntable. Beautiful. Hani Mehana. This one I have shown before, but I was just listening through it again because I pretty much like it. This came out on Ostinato Records and is a beautifully curated large compilation of songs from the 60s and 70s from Somalia. It's titled Sweet as Broken Dates, Lost Somali Tapes from the Horn of Africa. Yeah, this is pushing all the right buttons to get me to kind of put out my wallet and to buy it. But I've really enjoyed this one. It has amazing liner notes with a lot of information. Even a whole giant booklet with a lot of pages with photographs and stories about the artists. Yeah, and I like the music, certainly. So thank you to Ostinato Records for putting it out with all the love for detail. This is quite beautiful. But that's why not long ago I've acquired this one, because it's so beautifully complementary to the one I've just shown you. This is again from Ostinato Records. It's a triple album and it's called Two Niles to Sing a Melody, the Violins and Synth of Sudan. So this is kind of a similar project, just with the music of Sudan. Again, 60s, 70s, mostly curated from all kind of 7 inches probably. It's quite beautifully designed and done. It's really great fun. Again, it comes with a lot of... This album is far too big for the camera. It comes with a nice booklet. As you can see here again with... I haven't read this one because I just got it not long ago, but you see this, a lot of pictures, a lot of stories about the music. So this is certainly a nice compilation that brings you closer to the musical world of Sudan. Now, for the rest of my video here, I want to turn to Turkey. It's quite apparent that I have a big yen for Anatolian rock and Turkish music. So I got this lovely 7-inch. This is quite beautiful. This is a project by Osman Murat Ertel, which is the frontman of Baba Zula. and he's doing this with Esmaertel, who is his partner, and they even included their kids in the recordings in some parts. Oh, have you heard this? That's what we call hail. Well, the farmers here, they can need some rain, but now it's ice falling from the skies. So it's probably pretty loud. I don't know, can you hear anything? This is very loud because we are in the second level of the building. The windows here are kind of these skylights, so when there is hail falling down, it's pretty loud here because it's all bumping against the glass. However, this band is called Mavi Güneş 69, and yeah, you can check it out. These are only 2 songs because it's a 7-inch. You can check it out on Bandcamp. It's pretty cool music. I certainly like the interesting combination of rather a traditional. It's kind of difficult to focus in this kind of noise. So the question is, should I stay or should I go? Maybe I should interrupt the video instead of screaming around here, and come back when the hailstorm is over. Let me have a look. I kind of like these events. Maybe I can see something interesting outside. Wait a second. Crazy. But they're not that big. But there's a lot of them. Oh, I just opened the window and I got completely wet. Well, it's a bit better now. So, where did we stop? So that's back to Mavi Güneş. So it's a kind of crossover music because the rhythmical bass of this project is more in the traditional Turkish sort of Ottoman music, and it's all very mysterious. But on the upper level of the music, it's quite cool, sort of psychedelic jazz of sorts, and it's very pleasant to listen to. I mean, it's difficult to describe as music. And on the Bandcamp account, they even have a lengthy description about all these ideas behind the songs and what it all means. So this is quite a beautiful 7-inch. Just too bad my presentation was interrupted by natural catastrophes. It comes on a blue vinyl. It's half translucent. So beautiful. I really like it. I'm not against the idea that they maybe should record a whole album. So this is Mavi Güneş 69, and their one and only 7-inch for now. These are the 2 kids here with the microphones in their hand. So this is in the Babazula studio in Istanbul. Certainly a place on the map that I hope one day to enter in my lifetime, just so I can say that I was there. Yeah, I'm a big Babazula fan, but this is a really wonderful music and nice expedition into interesting musical style. And before I start to completely meander, let me pack it up and show you another album. This one is pretty cool, but it's a very well-known record, but I was just listening to it. This is the Gençlik ile El Ele by Mustafa Özkent. and this is a sort of a prototype of Turkish funk, Anatolian funk rock record. This is obviously rather well known. It's one of those records. If you are into Anatolian 70s music, then the chances are pretty big that you have this record on your shelf. It was released in 1973, and it was created with a rather powerful band of two drummers. I'm just reading it here: two guitarists, two percussionists, and a bass player, and a keyboarder. And this is really cool. I mean, it's just fun to listen to. It's from track to track to track. It's just highly entertaining, highly energetic music, and kind of almost a cliche of what you expect from a Istanbul record from the early 70s. But I really love it. It's a great album. This is obviously a re-release that came out on Jackpot Records, and it sounds pretty good. I like it. And finally, talking about obvious choices, this is a compilation with the music of Erkin Koray that came out on Faraway Sounds. Now, Erkin Koray is basically what you can see, the godfather of Anatolian rock. And this is a cool record. It's called Electronic Türküler, and it has everything you can wish and imagine for a Anatolian psych rock album. This is a very influential musician that has been very prolific throughout the 70s and 80s. And yeah, I mean, this album gives you very, very good overview of his music, and it's very enjoyable. I mean, those are really cool tracks, and I love the sound and the energy and just the whole vibe. So this is it for my video for today, and I hope I have inspired you to follow down the fascinating rabbit hole of Turkish and North African music. I know it's not everybody's taste, but I think a lot of people, once they try to get into it, can kind of find a lot of joy in it, and if not, never mind. There's so much wonderful music out there. But before I get on another tangent, I will say take care, stay healthy, keep spinning, and check out the 4 channels I mentioned at the beginning if you have not already. Have a good day. Oh, and the storm is over. Now it's gone. Great.